Micah Parsons. He had some things to say after the Cowboys' yet another home loss. Well, you've got a lot to say on this one, so I'm just going to hand the floor to you. Thoughts? Because
absolutely. My Eagles obviously laid the smack down 34-6. But that's not what we're really here to talk about. Micah Parsons is obviously, after an emotional loss, he's not happy. He decided to speak his mind. And usually, players are emotional. This is probably something he regrets, but he named names here. He named his head coach. He essentially said, no matter what happens, Mike McCarthy, the head coach for the Dallas Cowboys, can go wherever he wants at the end of the year. So he's basically saying he's not going to be here next year. He then goes on to say, we've got guys in the locker room like Martin, in interior lineman, and he wants to win a championship. He wants to lift a Lombardi trophy. I then was thinking to myself, I'm sorry, Micah, your team right now is so far away from being able to hoist a Lombardi trophy. And then afterwards, he then goes on to say that
there are guys in this locker room who have worked harder than Mike McCarthy has.
Yep, Zach Martin. Mike McCarthy is a Super Bowl head coach, Super Bowl winning head coach. He's been in the league for a very long time, and then if you don't get me wrong, Zach Martin, as far as most people are concerned, is a Hall of Famer as an interior offensive lineman. But the issue here is that, in my opinion, what he says, maybe that's how players feel behind closed doors.
You don't name names.
But you don't name names, especially your head coach who is still coaching your team. He's going to watch this footage. The coaching staff are going to watch this. The fans are going to watch this. The owner's going to watch this. And how do you think, what kind of discourse do you think this is going to cause? I now know that Dallas Cowboys are going to lose a lot of games this season because this shows me that the locker room is rotten right now. That's your defensive captain. This isn't like a hotshot defensive player. He is a voice on the team and needs to lead by example. If he can be like this in front of live cameras and say what he says, what do you think is being said behind closed doors?
Now,
Jerry Jones doesn't want to fire head coaches mid-season. He says that, but at this point,
he's not going to. I think the season's lost, so they're going to just tank.
Completely lost. They're just going to have to tank. Dak Prescott may have been the only thing holding this team together. And now that he's out, he's sitting back. He's going to let this thing play out. They don't know who's going to be at QB. They're playing Cooper Rush. You might as well just play Trey Lance. You might as well
they did play. They put in Trey Lance, and then they took out Trey Lance, and it was in a whole. But if you look at but when you've got no running game, then any quarterback behind there is going to look absolutely terrible. Now, what I will say is, with the Saints, we saw Alvin Kamara allude to something, prior to the firing of Dallas Cannon, but he didn't name the name. And everyone respected that. They were like, oh, we can read between the lines.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Micah Parsons didn't have the nuance. He said it out loud.
I think he's been given to the key to the franchise. He's Jerry's golden boy. And here's the thing. Jerry Jones drafted him. You know what I'm saying? This is Jerry's pick. And Jerry takes great pride in his guys. Michael Parsons is acting like he's a minority stakes holder on that Dallas Cowboys team.
Absolutely. He's been
the way he
by
said
Jerry
that,
Jones.
He basically said, yeah, Mike McCarthy's going to be gone. He can go wherever he wants. That's him knowing that. That's him knowing that Mike is gone, which means Jerry's probably spoken to him because you know how Jerry is. He can't differentiate between owner and GM. He'll bring players in and be like, well, I don't think Mike McCarthy's going to be here. I'm probably going to move on next season. He's probably he's gone. So don't worry about that, Mike. Don't worry about that, Micah. We'll take care of that. He probably told him that. Because the way he said it was with absolute confidence, it was a certainty.
The Cowboys' problem is Jerry Jones, right? And Micah
has
no respect for Mike McCarthy. I don't think he's truly. If he respected him this season, clearly he doesn't respect him.
Okay, so the only thing I'll say on this is, okay, Mike McCarthy towards the end of his coaching, the latter end of his coaching career, as we've seen it, he's like the offensive scheme has been stale, right? Generally, it has been stale.
Yep.
Now, what the next coach of the Cowboys will come in because they won't have the level, because they've still got the problem that the GM is the owner.
It's not going to change.
Can things change? And then is the penny going to drop with Micah that actually you end up just going to have to be taking a paycheck because literally you've not got a chance to be winning? He's going to get paid.
He's going to be the highest paid defender.
Listen, he's going to get paid, but at the end of the day, it's not going to be worth it because all I got to say is, Micah, shut up, shut your podcast, and play football.
He says on a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and leave the podcasting to us. Let us do it for you, okay? Let us do the podcasting for you. You ain't gotta do all of that. You just look at the people you compare yourselves to. They're not podcasting. They're playing football, right? That's what I always say. Myles Garrett, T.J. Watt, Nick Bosa, Adrian Hutchinson. They're tier 1. You're like tier 2 right now. Because I've always said
like he made some plays yesterday, but the thing is when there's nothing when there's just nothing on that, like that team is so devoid of,
like, he's not, because here's the thing.
Do you know the best play yesterday, I would say, by a Cowboy? Trevon Diggs.
Exactly, like
with that INT.
JJ Watt, right, had a 20-sack season in a season that Houston won 4 games. But he still showed he was an elite player, even though his team wasn't winning. Micah is not doing that.
How many sacks is Micah on this season?
He's only got 3 sacks.
Not enough.
He got 2 last night.
Not enough.
That took him to 3 because he had
2
1.
in 5 games because he's only played 5.
Not enough. He's playing terribly.
That's not. That's terrible.
If he was leading the league in sacks, then everyone could be like, "Yo, okay, he's putting in the work. He's dominating. He's earned the right to speak." Still, what he says is a bit much. He shouldn't have named names, but people are kind of like, "Okay, we get it. Their star player that's carrying the team defensively is frustrated. We get it." But he's not like that, man. Like right now,
I mean, it's a problem because when Mike McCarthy goes and a new head coach comes in, let's say if it's a top defensive guy, how does the new head coach rein the players in? Because there's certain players that are always gonna be Jerry's guys.
The problem with the Cowboys is that Jerry and his guys they run rain a little bit too much, and well, we saw Zeke in this game, right? We saw Zeke the week after he got a suspension, kick off the ball up on the goal line for a safety.
Thank you.
Right? It's just systematic of the Dallas Cowboys season, and
it's like, why is he on this team? Like, just like you said, Dilly, I think this is Jerry just getting involved. Like, let's bring back the old boys. Let me bring back Zeke. No, any other team would have been like, yo, he's past it. We respect him. When he's retired, we'll sign him in the off season for a 1-day deal where he can take a picture with the team and retire a Cowboy. But that's it. Like, that's it. Like, what are you doing, Dallas? You needed a running back.
Do you know how old Zeke is right now?
Yeah, you could. I mean,
he's 29.
Yeah, he's not that old. I told you, his tires are gone. Like, the mileage is done. He's shot.
No, it's okay. So here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Okay, so here's the thing. Some running backs genetically are physical freaks that they can play for a long time.
But most have a short. They just have a short
most
span.
have a short span. But do you think? There's a question mainly to you, Will, because you're in the fitness industry, you know, PT and everything. Do you think it also has to do with how you condition yourself in between seasons and your diet and stuff like that? Because we've seen running backs not as talented as Zeke have very long careers multiple
But Zeke
thousand
is a
yard
bit on
rushing
the
seasons.
bigger side, right?
He's a bit on the bigger side, and he's not like necessarily extremely tall. He's
6
really
foot.
heavy. Yeah, he's not crazy. But here's the
But
thing:
he's
like,
I
220.
do
He's
think he could have
230
been
and
better
6 foot as well.
if he had taken his health and his diet and stuff like that seriously over the years.
it's important because look, like I said, a lot of running backs lose weight when they go into the league. Le'Veon Bell came in; he was 240, 240 guys. Then he went down and he played back towards the tail end when he was the star running back. He was playing at 215. Adrian Peterson was playing at
CMC is
210
5'11", 210, so
210. Well, he because he's undersized, he has to, like, with running backs, there's like a minimum kind of weight. You usually want to be around 200. If you're 190, you better be blazing like a chain, and you need to be like quick. So for him, he can be around. Zeke should really be around 210, 215.
Yeah,
That's ideal. Not just that, but wear and tear. So he was the bell cow at Ohio State. This is the thing. If you're the starting running back for a blue blood Power 5 school, you need to get out there as soon as possible. As soon as you hit your junior year.
But do you think he could have had a much better career? So if he had played at a lighter weight, it could have prolonged him to have be more effective across multiple seasons.
Yeah, because I mean, there's the science behind it. Like, you're more susceptible to like swelling, soft tissue injuries as well. Like,
because I do believe
playing at a lighter weight isn't a detriment really, because
unless you're actually a bigger, like you're that tall, like
naturally big, like a big frame. Like, if you look at Henry,
Derrick Henry, a physical freak.
Yeah, I was
right?
about to mention him. Like,
he's not,
he's not.
Tall.
He's
just
built.
a physically tall person.
He's just built.
He's a big human being, so he's gonna have that weight, right? But if you think about it,
and
if
also he takes care of himself, because I've seen him training.
It's muscle.
Like,
it's muscle. It's
very
vegan.
Yeah, but he's
very particular, right?
About his training, his eating, and everything. He puts a lot into his body. He invests to make sure that he's in the right conditions year in, year out. And he knows the position that he plays. He has to do that to have the longevity that he would like to have.
Yeah, but Zeke is not in shape right now, and like it shows. Like, he's slow. He has no burst. He's shot. He was an amazing player, but he has no reason to be on the Dallas Cowboys. This guy was not in the league, man. They literally just brought him in, and I'm like, you needed an actual running back. There were loads of backs that were available. Like, some teams have guys you could have brought in.
It's the 3.2 yards a carry is an endemic of the Cowboys season. The remarks from Micah Parsons are endemic of the Cowboys season. We're not going to see them do anything this season. And well, if you like what we talked about, please drop a like. If you don't like what we talked about, still drop a like. Yeah. Drop a comment. See what you think as well. Comments. All right. And until then, we'll catch everybody on the video next time.